Hi, angels, and welcome. I'm your host, Lisa Everding, founder of Earthy Angels, and I'm on a mission to empower women to live authentically and to take exquisite care of themselves. You can find us on earthyangels.com or head over to our show notes to follow us on socials. Good morning, angels. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about how to always be an exerciser, how to be a woman that takes exquisite care of her body, her mind, her soul. I can speak on experience from this. This is something I have been doing for 25 years, and I want to give you a different perspective on how to make exercise and wellness and fitness a part of your long-term goals, not something you just do once, you just do when you have time, you just do when you want to lose weight, but how to really encompass this way of living, this lifestyle that will keep you on track for the long term, because that is the goal, girls, is optimal health and fitness for life so that you can live your most fulfilling, rewarding, energetic, abundant, happiest life. You must take care of this one body, girls, that you have to get you through life. So I'm going to share you so many tips that have helped me stay consistent over the last 25 years. Good morning, my beautiful friends. It is raining here this morning at the time of my recording. It's the beginning of New Year. It's like the 2nd of January. And I just wanted to let you know up front that it is raining, and I have kind of been waiting a little bit for the rain to settle so that you can't hear it in the background. But then I thought if I wait for conditions to be perfect, I'll just be waiting forever. And that's something that I always have really tried to adopt, because we were going to go jet skiing this morning, right? Like, we had the morning planned. We were going to head out on the skis, go and do a lap around Stratty, and the rain has cancelled those plans for us at the moment. And so I was actually thinking in my morning practice, I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking, how am I going to fit it both in? I really want to speak on this. I really want to record this podcast episode, but we really want to get out on the ski. And then the rain has had other plans. So that's okay. We're in holiday period. We'll find another time to go out. But if you hear it get a little bit noisy in the background, that is why. We've got a tin roof and we might hear it, but that's okay. I still want to get on here and chat with you anyway, because I have learned that when inspiration comes, I have to capture it. You know, there's a book I read called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and she talks about how, like, when this inspiration kind of comes to you, how she's an author, right? And she used this analogy. Like, I can't remember the analogy now that I've said it, if it's a horse or a wind, but it basically talks about catching it by the tail. And she said she'd be out on her property and she would get like this rush of inspiration would come through. And then she would race to her house to get her pen and paper to write it down, to capture it before this gust of wind or a horse got away from her, and how she would have to kind of grab it by the tail and rein it back in, so that she could capture that burst of inspiration right there and then. And I have learned that too. And why I'm telling you this is because it might be helpful for you. I have learned that I just have to capture inspiration or writing or creativity when it comes to me, whether I pull out my phone and write it down, or whether I record it or write it down in my journal, really just capturing the moment. Because there's been times I thought about an episode that I want to record, and then I've maybe taken a few notes, and then something's come up, I've got distracted, and I have gone to go and re-record it. I went, I'm just not feeling it now. Like, the wave of inspiration has left me, and it's hard trying to kind of rein it back in and trying to remember everything. So I have learned, girls, is just capture the creativity, capture the inspiration, and roll with it and go with it at the moment. So what I was thinking about this morning, and what I want to chat with you about today, is it's the beginning of a new year, and everybody has big intentions, big New Year's resolutions, big goals that they want to do. And I thought, why is it that people stop and start? Why is it that people start and then they might quit on themselves, or they might find that they their goals just don't come to fruition, or they lose interest, or they get bored, or life happens and they go back to their old ways. And I can really speak to you guys from experience here. Today, I'm talking about exercise. I'm talking about all things health, wellness, fitness, and exercise, because I have been an exerciser, let me use that word, for 25 years, right? And when I put that out loud, I think, man, that makes me sound so old. But I have, I hand on my heart, I have been so consistent in this area of my life for 25 years. In my early 20s, I can't remember, 19, 20, I started one of my first practices of exercise, of movement consistently, was yoga. And this was back when we didn't have the nice yoga studios that we do now. I was working in a bank, supervisor of a bank at a time, and I would go with my sister and a friend who worked around the corner from me, and we would go to, it was basically my old high school, right? We would go there, and there was a man that would come and do yoga in the classroom. And that was our first form of movement. And I just fell in love with it. We were just in a classroom. We would just take our mat. There was nothing fancy. There was nothing like, all Instagrammable like it is today. It was just the way I fell in love with moving my body. And I can hand on my heart say that from that time, I have always made exercise a part of my life. And I've always fallen in love with the way it made me feel. I have chopped and changed what I've done for exercise over the time. I have had times where I have, I've had kids. I've been a mum. I've gone through surgeries. I've gone on holidays. I've had injuries. Like, I've had all the things that have happened along the way, all the hiccups. But I've always got back on track, and I've always made exercise and my wellness and feeling good a part of my foundation and a part of who I am. Like, I've had times where I've had little kids, like at the time of me speaking, my kids are older, 18 and 20, and I've been doing this from pre-kids to when I've had little kids, through my pregnancies, through Tom worked a lot. Like, Tom was always so driven and so ambitious, and he worked so hard, and I would put the kids in creche, like there was no time where I could rely on him to look after the kids. I would go and use the gym, and I would go and put the kids in creche, even when I was pregnant, or before my pregnancy, like Tom and I, we were just driven, like from a really young age, driven to pay our house off, driven to do all these things that we were working kind of 2 jobs, or he was doing lots of overtime, lots of cashies. I was going and working on my parents' property from like 5 o'clock in the morning before I'd go to my job. And we still have just found ways to make this a part of my life, and I got so used to feeling good. Like, it's just my norm. It's just the way that I've always felt. And I would think to myself, I just don't get it. Like, if it's so good, why doesn't everybody do it? If people know that exercise is so good for them, or taking care of their health and wellness is so good for them, why doesn't everybody do it? And it's always kind of played on my mind. And I've learned a lot over the years, which I'll share with you. But I guess I've always had a goal from a young age to have self-growth, to want to improve myself, to want to better myself, in different ways. Some ways it's shown up more strongly in money, or in finance, or self-growth, or in wellness and fitness and my body physically. I've always had some kind of goals to really focus on growth and self-improvement and being the best version of myself that I can be. Has it always been easy? No. Have I had challenges and obstacles and things that have happened along the way? Absolutely. But I've always got back on track. And I've always had people say to me, particularly as I've gotten older, right? I'm 46 now, and I've had people often say to me, like, wow, you look way, and I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, right? I'm saying this as an incentive, as a way to incentivize you, as a way to inspire you to take care of yourself. People say to me, you look way younger than you are. I can't believe you're 46. I can't believe you're in your 40s. I've had this from a long time. I can't believe you're in your 40s. You look way younger. And I absolutely know that it's from taking care of myself. I've had people say, how have you got so much energy? You've always got so much energy, or you're always really, really happy. And I know that it comes from my human design too. Now I've learned that, like, I'm a generator and I do bring light out in people. But also I have learned that exercise and taking care of myself has given me energy. It has helped me with my health. It's helped me fight off disease. It's helped me, fight off illnesses. And it's just helped me stay in just such an incredible state of being that I just know it's a non-negotiable for me. And I want to take you through today some of the some tips and some of the words of wisdom which I can give you in my 46 years of life, because I've done these things for over 25 years and I know some of these things that work, and they're not all going to be right for you. Man, the rain's picking up now. I hope it's not too distracting, but I've just got to roll with it, right? So I know that not everything is going to be right for every single person, and not everything I share is going to align with you. So you take out of this what aligns for you, or what feels good for you, or what you want to actually try. And that's always the piece of advice I give people, there's no one way, that suits all. There's no one fix for everything. There's no right way. It comes from experience, and it comes from practice, and it comes from doing what feels right and in alignment from your heart and soul. So I just want to start with that. And I also want to start with, be really honest with yourself, okay? Like, it's easy to go, oh, that's not me. But it could be, there might be things that I bring up that might trigger you, or there might be things that I might bring up that you go, oh, I'm not like that. But then when you think about it a little bit, you go, actually, that is a little bit of what I'm like. I do use those excuses. So I want you to be really, really honest with yourself. So I can speak from experience, from my own personal experience of moving my body. And I can also speak from experience of coaching women and working with women. Before I had my studio, I was a personal trainer and a coach, and I've worked with women for a very long time. So I have seen people stop and start, they'll start exercising and then life happens and they stop. I've seen people become obsessed over certain things. I've seen people, and these are things that I've all gone through, I've gone through myself. Except the stop start, I'm pretty good with that. I've had times where I've stopped, where I've gone on holidays, or I've had surgery or had kids, but I've always gotten back on track because I just know how good it makes me feel. But I speak from experience in everything that I share, because I too have had times where I've got tied up in my ego, or I've got, become obsessed, or probably put my energy into not the wrong things, I've learned from them, but things that aren't long-term fulfilling. So I'm speaking to you from experience. I've found that over working with women and just working with people and just seeing, just observing people in general, people find time for the things that they value, like it's easy. I found myself going, I don't have time for that. And then I thought about it deeper and I went, it's not actually that I don't have time, because I can make time for anything. It's actually that I don't value it, or I just don't care for it, or I actually just don't want to do it. So I want you to really have a good hard look at yourself, and I want you to really be honest with yourself and just check in with where you're at. Have you been a person that stop-starts? Have you been a person that has become so obsessed? Have you been a person that has excuses or hidden behind stories that you've told yourself over and over again to keep you comfortable and to keep you safe and to keep you from not starting anything, because it comes from actually an underlying fear of doing something new, or a fear of it's just safe to stay in your comfort zone, right? And I want to really encourage you that growth comes from your comfort zone. I will bang on about this in all of my podcasts. Well, not all of them, but a lot through a general theme of my podcast is get out of your comfort zone as much as you can. It's something I encourage my kids to do. It's something that I always do as much as I can. Get out of your comfort zone, because that is where growth comes. That's where a lot of fulfillment comes. That's where you really make changes and shifts and transformation in your life, is getting out of your comfort zone. Okay. So what I want to start with, I have got points, right? I have kind of put this down into 10, I shouldn't say 10 tips, because I'm going to give you a lot of tips, right? But I put it down to 10 points to keep me on track, because this is something I could seriously talk about for 6 hours, because I'm just so passionate about it. I am so, I guess, obsessed with just wanting people to take better care of themselves, with wanting to inspire women to make changes, with wanting to help motivate you, with wanting to help you live your best, most fulfilling life. And it's like personal development. I would say to my husband, like, why don't people do this all the time? Because I would see results from it and I just get so passionate and I want to share. So what I'm going to talk about today can come from, I guess, from physical, but also personal and spiritual development around the foundation of taking care of yourself and around exercising for the long term. Because we all know that, I'm not going to dive into any of the benefits of health and exercise and wellness, right? Because we all know that there are health benefits, there are disease, wellness, sickness benefits from why you need to exercise and why you need to take care of your body. So I'm not going to take you into any of that today. I want to talk to you from a different perspective. So a lot of my perspective is this blend of, I dive into the spiritual, because over the years, that's what I found that really is of the utmost importance, is coming from soul, coming from that spiritual, blended with the physical, blended with the mental, but it all comes from the inside. So what I'm going to take you through today will have that element of, there's always going to be that little bit of element of my perspective from a spiritual or from an inner landscape, as well as your outer reality, as well as what you see on the outside, what shows up on your life. I'm going to take you to the fundamentals from the inside as well. So number one, okay, is just starting with making a decision, making a real decision that health and wellness is going to form part of your foundation, that health and wellness, or working out or taking care of yourself, is going to be part of who you are. It's going to be part of something that you do for the rest of your life. Not something that you do when you have time, not something that you want to do because you just got a goal to lose a certain amount of weight, that you really want to make a decision to care for yourself, because you have one body, girls, one body to get you through life. Make a decision to just take the absolute best care of it now. Just make a decision that this is something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is something that is going to form part of who I am. This is just going to be as normal for me as brushing my teeth, as normal for me as going to work, as normal for me as, just those daily disciplines or those daily habits that you have to do to survive, because your health and wellness depends on your survival depends on it, right? What you get out of your life depends on your health and wellness. What you get, the energy that you get depends on having just the best body that you can have. Yes, I know we have illnesses. I know that sometimes we get, people get hit with things that are out of your control, I absolutely understand that things like that happen, but overall, just making growth and health and wellness one of your foundational, part of your being, part of who you are. Just make a decision to start, okay? And I'm going to be talking to you from all different, you're all going to be coming to me, I should say, from different backgrounds, from different places in your life. Some of you may be brand new beginners. Some of you may be exercising for a while. Some of you may be older. Some of you, maybe pre-kids, had kids, past, kids have grown up. You're all going to be listening at different stages of your life. So I can speak on a lot of these different stages, right? So no matter what stage you're at, no matter if you've been exercising for a long time, because you may find that you've come across me because you are not fulfilled in the type of movement that you're doing, and that you know that you need to make some changes, but you're a little bit stuck, okay? So make a decision that health and wellness and moving your body and taking exquisite care of your body is part of who you are. Number two, it comes back to your values, okay? So getting crystal clear on your values, getting crystal clear on your why. So for me, I made a decision when I was really young that I'm going to be an exerciser, that I'm going to be someone who takes care of myself, because for me, it come back to life experience The two big things were wanting to have energy to keep up with my family and wanting to have energy and wellness to get the most out of my life. We love travel, we love adventure, we love, like I said, I love getting out in the jet ski, wave jumping, getting out exploring the world, having energy just to go and play with my kids on the playground. All of those foundational things were the biggest part of, I guess, my biggest why and my biggest value on why I had to look after my body, because I wanted to have energy to keep up with life and to keep up with my family. So ask yourself, like, what is my biggest value, and what do I really want out of life the most? And do I need to take care of myself? Do I need to have a fit and able body to get the most out of life? Okay, so going back to your values, going back to your big reasons why. And I have been through a lot of these things, which I'm going to talk to you about at the moment. So I see people get wrapped up in goals of, I just want to lose weight, or goals of body fat percentages, or goals of getting obsessed on the scale. I want you to really shift your perspective from, don't make exercise so much about what you look like and about looks, and make it more about how you feel. Now, every woman wants to look and feel their absolute best. I do as well, so we want to look healthy, we want to look fit, we want to look strong, like we want to have some toning and definition, as a general, like that's what that's what a lot of women really, really want. But don't become just obsessed over that. Really make it about how you feel, and make it about not just the exterior, but make it about the interior as well. Like, what feelings will looking after myself, what feelings will it give me? Okay, so let's use confidence as an example. We all want to feel confident. We all want to feel our absolute best, but confidence is also an energy. I know for me, sitting here right now, I'm not my lowest weight. And look, I don't weigh myself. I'm not my lowest weight. I'm not my lowest body fat percentage. I am not my biggest, strongest muscle mass, but I am the most confident and beautiful and empowered that I've ever felt in my whole life. Like, I feel so good on the inside, because I know that confidence is an energy. And I know that how you feel on the inside radiates to people around you. Like, I've had women who I've worked with look amazing, look absolutely amazing in terms of, if you were to gauge it, look, I don't even think there's an ideal body or an ideal perfect body. I don't like to use those words. But if you were to gauge it on what society typically says is like an ideal body, I've seen women look like that and still lack so much confidence and still lack so much self-worth, because they don't feel it on the inside. Their goals are superficial. So I really want to encourage you to make your goals internal, about how you feel, as well as exterior goals. It's okay to have exterior goals. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but really making your goals about how you want to feel and what you want to get out of life, and about like the energy that you want to radiate, whether it's just this uplifting energy to get the most out of life, or this energy of radiance, or this energy of just getting the most out of life, that you have this, you wake up and you just feel good. You wake up and you just have this energy that you want to get you through your day. That comes from looking after yourself. It comes from doing the inner work. It comes from working out. It comes from eating clean. It comes from all of these things. So make a lot of your goals about the inner landscape, as well as your outer physical goals, is going to help you stay on track for the long term. Like, I would think to myself, I've had goals about hitting certain percentages and things like that in the past. Absolutely. And I would think to myself, as I've gotten older, like, am I going to care on my deathbed, like what my 1 rep max is, And am I going to care about what my body fat percentage is, No, I'm going to look back and I'm going to think about these amazing experiences that I had with my family. I'm going to think about these amazing experiences that I did for myself, like all the things that I love doing. And the memories and the experiences that I've had to get me the most out of life, that's what's going to be number one important to me. So I look at things from a bit of a different perspective, a bigger perspective, and looking after yourself is going to help get you there, and looking after yourself is going to help you with your bigger areas of your life that you value, and with your just having the best life experience that you absolutely can. Come from the goal of nourishment, like make nourishment one of your values, not obsession, not depletion, like not what you have to give up, but how can I nourish my body even more? And when you start looking after yourself and when you start taking the best care of yourself and nourishing yourself in all these ways, it becomes your norm. You teach that to your kids. You teach that and you inspire your loved ones around you that this is just how we are. This is just my norm. That's something that really helped inspire me and help keep me on track, is just showing my kids that this is just a way of life and this is just something that we do. And then they'll make up their own mind in their own journey along the way. So number 3 is to look at your body from a different perspective. Actually, before I go into this, go back to number 2. In terms of your values, I recorded an episode about stepping into your ideal future self, where I will dive deeper into that. So go back and listen to this previous episode as well, which really talks about your values, getting clear on what you want, and your ideal self and your ideal vision for yourself. So go back and listen to that previous episode, number 30 as well. Okay, number 3, look at your body from a different perspective. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit woo with you here. Try not to look at your body just as an instrument or just as whether it's perfect or whether it's good enough, or looking at it just from a physical perspective. How I've learned to look at my body and how I'm trying to teach my kids to look and women to look at their body is now I heard one of my clients say this and it has stuck with me and I really love it. So I can't take credit for this, but I remember her talking about an earth suit. And I started thinking about how your body can become, it's like this earth suit. It's like this body houses your soul, right? It gets you through life. It carries you through your life experience. It carries you through your everything that you do while you're here in this world. You have one body, girls. You have one body to get you through life. How are you going to treat it? How are you going to take care of it? Because this one body, it houses your soul. Take care of it because you love it. Take care of it because you value it. Take care of it and nourish it, because this is the instrument that, or the tool, or whatever you want to call it. This is our one body that is going to carry your soul throughout your life journey. You have to take the absolute best, exquisite care of it to get the most out of your life. So when I started looking at my body as a temple that houses my soul and not just something that I based my worth on what it looks like, and I started looking at from a spiritual perspective and starting loving on myself more on the inside, my body forms a part of that. And I started looking at my body as a way of getting me through my worldly experience and as a way of carrying me through life. And that I thought to myself, now I can't say I've always thought like this. This is something that I've really dove into over the last couple of years, is I want to make a decision to work with my body as opposed to fighting against it for the rest of my life. I really need to work with my body and work in unison with my body, as opposed to constantly hating on it, judging it, criticizing it, because this one beautiful body is going to carry my soul and give me my life experience. So I need to work with it for the rest of my life. And I am sick of judging it. I'm sick of criticizing it. I'm sick of putting it down. I'm sick of obsessing over it. I just made a decision probably a year ago that I looked at it from this different perspective. Like sometimes I feel like I look down like at the human race, and I look at it from, I guess, a perspective from the outside looking in and going, we've all got these bodies. We can't change our body that we're born with. Yes, our body changes, our body shifts, our body grows, it evolves. But who we are, what we were born into, is this one earth suit that is going to carry us through life. I need to make a decision to work with it for the rest of my life that I've got here on earth, as opposed to constantly fighting against it. And it changed the way that I looked at my body, and I thought I really need to learn to love on it more, take care of it more, because it houses my soul. So I just want to leave that little bit of a perspective with you and see if that just sit with that, right? Sit with that a little bit and see what comes up for you. Number 4, get to know your body intimately. Okay. So Many people find the spiritual journey, they don't know where to start, they don't know how to start. I guess finding the physical practice is one of the easiest ways to start. So, where I'm going with this is, so yoga, for instance, right? Yoga really teaches you to get connected with your body, mind, and soul. And yoga teaches you to really start feeling into your body. This is why I love the practice of yoga, and I love the practice of Pilates, because when you get to know your body intimately, you get connected more with your intuition. You get more connected with your inner wisdom. So, yoga teaches you the practice of listening to your body, the art of really listening to your body's signs, your body's signals, having awareness of what it feels like to be in your body, and it doesn't always feel amazing. It doesn't always feel great. There's, we have limitations, we have blocks, we have limiting beliefs, we have injuries, we have illnesses, we have things that go on in our life that affect our body. We have traumas, we have so many things that go on in our bodies that sometimes we can put this block, or we can put this barrier up, and we can use exercise as a form of distraction. We can use exercise as a form of a coping mechanism. I really want to encourage you to get to know your body on a really intimate level, getting in touch with your sensuality, getting in touch with your senses. And when you step on the mat, you start to really become so connected with your body. And girls, it's so powerful to learn what it feels like to be in your body, to heighten, to strengthen this connection with what it feels like to be in your body, and to work with your body, and to really embrace all of your senses, and really embrace being in this one body that you have for the rest of your life. Learning to work with your body, but also really connecting with your body, because your body gives you signs, your body gives you signals. And when you're constantly in your head, you're constantly in that masculine energy of doing, of rushing, or having somewhere to be, or working, and so focused on living in your head and not being in your heart and not being in your body, you miss signs, you miss signals, you miss communication and words of wisdom, and feelings of wisdom and voice of wisdom that your body is trying to communicate with you. So where I'm going with this is when you really get to know your body more intimately, you connect more with your inner wisdom, you connect more with your intuition. And girls, as a woman, that's your feminine superpower, is your intuition. So you can really start to heighten that by getting intimate with your body and learning to what it feels like to have this experience of being in your body. And like you get I guess you get warnings, you get, like, how sometimes you'll get like these little niggling aches and pains in your body, and you just shrug it off and you just push it to the side because you're too busy to deal with that. And then what happens? It gets worse. So when you start to listen to your body and you get more intimate with your body, you learn to listen to the signs, you learn to listen to the communication, you learn to listen to the wisdom that your body is trying to tell you. So, really getting back to wanting to exercise to get to know your body intimately, and not just exercising for punishment, or exercising to extremes, or exercising for exhaustion, but exercising to learn to get so connected with your body is so powerful, girls. It's absolutely so powerful. Number 5. So when I'm talking to you about exercise and making your health and wellness a priority for the long term, I have been through many years and many years, many years and many changes of and many different forms of exercise throughout my lifetime. So I want to really, whether you're younger, whether you're older, it doesn't matter. I want you to accept change and embrace change, and have the mentality of adaptability. Have the mentality of nothing stays stagnant. Life is constantly changing. Life is constantly evolving. Life is constantly growing. Nothing stays the same forever. So where am I going with this? You're going to have periods in your life where you might go through pregnancy, injury, like limitations in your body, illnesses, sickness, age, your likes, your dislikes, things are going to constantly change. So don't feel like what you're doing now or what you're about to start, you have to be sold out on forever. Like I've done many different things. I've hit the gym, I've done weights, I've done triathlons, I've done so many, like swimming, spin classes, cycling, like yoga, Pilates. I've done so many different forms of exercise. One thing that's always been a constant for me has been walking. I've done bouts of running. I've done all the box jumps, all the high intense stuff that when I was in my 30s, I made a decision that I want to be able to work out for the rest of my life. I don't want to flog my body or work my body to the extreme that I'm constantly pushing it so hard that it breaks down on me, or like I wear it out, or like some things are so impactful on your body, are so impactful on your joints. And again, I'm not saying that there's any right or wrong. I'm saying tune into you and listen to you. But if you might have hit a point in your life where you're going, I've loved running for so many years. I've just loved it. And now your body just doesn't want to do it anymore. Listen to that. It doesn't have to, you don't have to do the same of what you've been doing for years and years and years. Learn to embrace change and learn to be adaptable, because what I've learned over the years is when I've become so obsessed with it has to be the way it's always been, like it has to be, the intensity always has to be the same. And you become so stuck in that, so fixated on that's what I've done for years, that's what I have to keep doing. It can just wreak havoc with your mental health, and it can set you up for failure, and it can set you up for dissatisfaction. It can make you feel inadequate, it can make you feel not good enough because you're comparing to what you've always done, or you're comparing to what your body used to be able to do when it was younger, or you're comparing to what it did pre-kids, or how your body looked before you felt pregnant, and you're trying to get back to that sameness. It's never going to be like that. There's always going to be change in your lifestyle, change in what happens to you, change in your body, change in your age. Embrace change and embrace and have a attitude of adaptability and just rolling with where you are in your life at the moment, because nothing is going to stay the same, girls. You are always going to have different life circumstances, different factors in your life, but also different likes and different likes and dislikes. You might be doing something for a while and it just doesn't fulfill you anymore because you want to do something, say for instance, more holistic. You might have been flogging yourself at gym for years and years and years, and then like I've had women come to me all the time, they go, I'm just sick of training like that. It just doesn't serve me anymore, but I don't know what to do. And I'm, or my partner and I have been doing this for years, but I don't want to do that anymore. You have to do what's right for you. You have to do what's right for your body, your mind, and your soul, and embrace where you're at in the moment, because you're always going to change. And things that you used to enjoy, you might not enjoy, and they might not fulfill you anymore. And that is okay. I want to give you the permission to do what feels good for you, and do what lights you up, and do what you enjoy, because if it's something that you enjoy, you're going to stick with it, okay? And you're going to keep turning up, and you're going to come back to it. But your body is going to change. Your just so many things are going to change throughout life. And if you're young and listening to this too, have the mentality and have the expectancy that I need to be adaptable. So no matter what age, no matter what stage we're at, we always have to be adaptable and go with that ebb and flow and go with that change of life, and not have the attitude of getting stuck in something that you've always done forever, because that is just going to really keep you in a place of feeling stuck, or keep you in a place of feeling dissatisfied, or keep you in a place of judging and criticizing yourself and not feeling that you're achieving what you want to achieve. Have the mentality of being able to adapt and shift and change, okay? Number 6, do it for self-love. Really take care of yourself because you love yourself, and take care of yourself because you want to learn to love yourself. And you know what happens when you start taking care of yourself? You might not know how to love yourself. You might not know, I don't know where to start with self-love, because you loathe yourself, or you criticize yourself, or you're so hard on yourself. The more you can take care of yourself, the more you will discover self-love in the process. So exercise is a form of self-love. Nourishment is a form of self-love. Taking care of your body is a form of self-love and respect and compassion and kindness towards your body. And the more that you really start to take exquisite care of yourself, the more you feel, I guess that you you just have this, you start to see yourself more through the eyes of love. And then the more you care of yourself, the more you start to feel this feeling of love towards yourself. So it's kind of that, I guess you can start for self love, or you can find that you love yourself more from taking care of yourself. But take care of yourself from a way of wanting to better yourself. Take care of yourself from a way of wanting to really love on your beautiful body. Have a healthy respect for yourself, and try not to come from a place of obsession. Like the more you take care of yourself, the more self-love will grow in the process. So try and make exercise, try and make taking care of yourself, try and make wellness a form of showing yourself self-love and kindness and compassion. And guess what, girls? Your self-love will grow in the process. And number 7, encompass a holistic approach. Have a goal of growth. The word yoga means unison, okay? So don't look at your body in a way of being separate. I want you to really start looking at health, wellness, exercise of a way of encompassing a holistic approach, that body, mind, and soul. Like what I mean by that is when you start to take care of yourself and you start to exercise and you start to nourish yourself, can you nourish your mindset in the process? Can you nourish and take care of your spiritual health and wellness in the mindset and mindset in the process? Because when you're looking after and nourishing your body, mind, and soul and encompassing a holistic approach, you just find that you grow in all ways, that you get stronger in all ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and growth becomes a way of life, not this separation, that you're really finding the unity in body, mind, and soul. And like for instance, when you work out, right? When you take care of your body and you start exercising, it makes you want to eat cleaner. It makes you want to eat better. It makes you want to drink more water. It gives you more energy, that you start to fall in love with how that makes you feel. What also happens is you start to find you might want to gravitate towards people and associate with people who are in that like-minded way of life. It might put you on the mindset and put you on the path of listening to more podcasts, reading more books on health and wellness and fitness. It might make you want to really look at all areas in your life, how you can better yourself, how you can improve yourself, how you can strengthen yourself holistically for your body, mind, and soul. So try not to look at working out as just looking at it from a physical perspective only. Really look at ways that you can move your body, ways that you can encompass a holistic approach to health, wellness, and fitness. And you will find that everything is going to strengthen in the process. Okay, so really start looking at union, looking at yoga. If you've never done yoga before, maybe start up the practice of yoga. If you've never done Pilates, or really working on your body, mind, and soul, find a form of movement that can help strengthen and empower you in a holistic way, body, mind, and soul. Number 8, have balance and listen to your body's needs, okay? So I've done it where I have gone hardcore for many, many years, where I've just had this masculine energy of just, I need to go until I'm to the point of exhaustion, or I need to exercise like all the time. I need to just constantly work out all the time, where it's become a bit of an obsession, or it's become, I need to push myself so hard to the point of I almost feel sick, like I've absolutely been there. And I want to encourage this feminine energy of softness and balance. I want you to become so connected with your body that you start to really learn to listen to your body's needs. So what do I mean by that? So I remember when I did my personal training course, we dove a lot into like hormones. We dove a lot into how, as a woman, for example, the different times in your cycle when it's a peak time, like for you to go hard, it's a peak time for you to really work out, like when you've got this energy where you can push yourself. And then when you go through that phase of when you're on your period, how they really taught me, like, don't be so, when you're coaching women, expect that they're not going to have the same amount of energy. They expect that they're not going to have the same amount of what they can do on a day where they have their period is going to be different to a day where they don't have their period. So I just want you to understand that it's really important to listen to your body's needs. It's really important to have kindness and compassion and softness to your body, and allow yourself the grace to, even though you're somebody who works out, you're going to have weeks, or you're going to have times in your life where you need to back off a little bit. You're going to have times in your life where you might be so tired and exhausted because you're busy at work or because the kids have kept you up, that it's okay to go, you know what, I actually just need to take it easy this week. What I did last week, I might have come to, I'm just going to use my studio as an example. I might have come to, 4 or 5 Pilates and bar classes, feel so energetic, so pumped, really working on toning my body. But hang on a sec, this week I feel so tired, I feel so flat. Give yourself permission to go with what your body needs. Come to some restorative yoga classes, get out for a gentle walk. Do something that you're still moving your body, but you're giving your body softness and kindness and grace to go, I actually just need to take it a little bit easier this week, or maybe I need a little bit of a rest this week. Maybe I need to sleep in, and that is okay. So really having that balance, and having that softness towards your body and listening to your body's needs. Okay. Number 9. Don't wish it was easy. Wish that you were better. I have seen so many people not work out because they're riddled with anxiety. They have fear that holds them back. They have these blocks that keep them stuck. And, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? If working out and taking care of yourself was easy, why doesn't everybody do it? Don't wish it was easier. Wish that you were stronger, and wish that you had, and you don't just have to wish, you can actually step into this. Don't let fear or anxiety hold you back, because you will stay stuck forever, okay? I've had women that have told me, I've rocked up to your studio and I have come a couple of times and I've sat in the car riddled with anxiety, or I've just been so afraid to step into a class because I'm the new person. I don't know what to do. I don't know anybody there, like I don't know. I've never done Pilates before. I've never done yoga before. I'm not flexible. You come to yoga to get flexible. You come to these classes to get stronger. Not everybody rocks up already feeling amazing. Everybody started as a beginner. Everybody had to make that first move. Everybody in class or everybody in your life is always going to be at a different level to you, a different stage to you, a different life experience to you, a different life circumstance to you. That is normal. Just start anyway. Just have the goal of, I just want to start moving my body. I just want to feel what it feels like to take care of my body. You're not going to have to keep up with everybody else. Like I tell everybody when they come to the mat, just do what feels right for you, and just have a goal of just getting started by just moving your body. Feel what it feels like to move your body and just turn up. That's all you need to do. And yes, I know that can be absolutely the hardest part, but when you push through that, when you get there, you know what everybody always tells me? I wish I started sooner. It wasn't as bad as what I thought. So find a supportive community, find a place where you just feel so comfortable to move your body and you feel so comfortable just to start. Find a supportive community, somebody that really, or people that really help you feel so comfortable and so welcoming and so just free to be yourself. There's no comparison, there's no judgment, there's no competing, where you can really feel safe to move your body. But just start, is the fundamental thing that you want to do, is just start getting your body moving. And just remember that other people have the same fears. You're not the only one. Other people have the same anxieties. Other people have the same things that held them back. But you just have to get through it anyway. You can't wish the fear away. You can't, you just have to push through it. You just have to turn up, and you just have to make a decision to start. Number 10, if you wait for motivation, girls, you will wait forever. Motivation comes from taking action. Motivation comes from doing the thing. You can't rely on external factors to motivate you. You can't rely on other people to motivate you. You can't rely on, waiting for the right time, waiting for the right situation, waiting for the right circumstance, when you start doing something, the motivation will get stronger and the motivation will help keep you going. But you know what I've learned? You can start things with an accountability partner, a friend. You can start things with having that support person. They're not always going to be there. You need to find the motivation in yourself anyway. Like if that accountability person helps you, that's amazing. Have that partner to help get you started. But over time, you're going to have to find the motivation within yourself. You're going to have to find the inspiration and find the drive within yourself if you want to keep going for the long term. And that's where working on your mindset, reading books, listening to podcasts, being around supportive people, or just getting back to your why, getting back to your big reasons, and really finding that motivation within is going to help keep you going for the long term. And that's something that I guess I've been very, very consistent with. Have I been motivated all the time? Hell no. I'm not motivated 100% of the time. I have times I rock up to class to teach. I'm up at 3:30 in the morning. And I've just had to get out of bed because I've got you guys waiting for me. And I've not felt motivated. I've not felt energetic. When I get there, I move my body. I always, always, always feel incredible afterwards. Like no one ever regrets a workout. You always feel amazing afterwards. But you got to take action. You just have to get up and go. It's like going for a walk. Like I always say, get up and put on your workout clothes. Once you do that, you think, well, man, I've already got my clothes on. If you want to go back to bed, go back to bed, or just get up and have a goal. I'm just going to get out the door and make it to the first corner on my street, because chances are you're not going to turn around. But what have you done? You've taken action. Once you get to the workout class, once you start walking, you go and you keep going and you keep going, or you find that environment, that class that helps keep you motivated. But you have to make the decision to start. You have to make the decision to put your exercise clothes on. You have to make the decision to get up when your alarm clock goes in the morning. It comes down to a discipline, and more motivation will come from taking action. But if you wait for someone to motivate you, or if you wait for timing to be perfect to be motivated, if you wait till, New Year's or a date on the calendar to be motivated, those things are going to come and go, and you are going to wait forever. You have to just take action and just trust and just know that more motivation is going to come in the process. So I hope that has helped you. I hope that's kind of given you a little bit of a different take on becoming an exerciser, or becoming someone who takes care of themselves, or starting with your New Year's resolutions, starting with your new goals and your new intentions. You've got to dive deeper than just those superficial goals, girls. You've got to dive deeper than just a date on a calendar, or just that goal of I'm just going to keep going till I lose 5 kilos. It has to become part of who you are. So go back and listen to like my last episode where I talk about your ideal future self and your ideal woman, and really, really nut out that vision of who do you want to become? Who do you want to step into? Because I made a decision very early on that I just want to become a woman that takes care of herself. I want to become a woman who has exercise. I want to become a woman who works out. And I just want to always have the desire to work out for the rest of my life, and to exercise for the rest of my life, because I want my most amazing experience. And that comes back to my why. So what is your why? You may have to listen to this episode again. Go and listen to my last episode again. Really dive into that at the start of this year, or who cares, whenever you listen to this episode, really dive into that ideal version of myself and who I want to become throughout my life. And let that help inspire you. Let that help set you up. Let that help form a benchmark for you. Let that help give you the motivation, give you the drive of how you can become a woman who takes exquisite care of yourself, girls, because I'm telling you, it is worth it. It is just worth investing the time in you for your physical growth, your mental growth, your emotional, your spiritual growth. It is worth taking care of yourself, girls. You are worth it. Wishing you so much energy and love and vitality and abundance and health and wellness for the rest of your life, angels. Have a beautiful day. So much love to you. Bye. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode and want more, feel free to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you listen to. You can also head over to earthyangels.com or join our private Facebook group, Earthy Angels Connect, for more community, blogs, updates, inspo, motivation, support, and to connect with a tribe of like-minded souls. And if you have a moment, we would be super grateful if you would love to leave a review. Sending you so much light and love, Angel.